I'm here with Greg Metze, also known as Metze. You said your nickname since you were 10. Very excited to meet you today, and really looking forward to talking about the background, different mash bills. And it so happens that we last week received 2 barrels, which were produced at MGP or LDI, like we talked about. And one of them, a very interesting mash bills. Both of them are rye. One is 95% rye and 5% malted barley. Mm-hmm. The other one is 51 and 49% being a malted barley, which is very high content. So that is unusual, and it is really beautiful. So can you tell us how you came up with that, or what was the thought process?
Yeah, well, I mean, it probably originated really the first high malted barley content mash bill that I produced was really for Old Elk. And, at that time, Old Elk approached me when I was still master distiller there in Lawrenceburg.
Okay.
And they wanted custom mash bills. And the first one that they asked me to produce was a bourbon.
Okay.
And they wanted the product to be smooth and easy. That's literally the only 2 terms that they gave me to work with.
Smooth and easy.
Smooth and easy.
Right.
And I was not restricted relative to price or the cost of the mash bill. So at that point, I was 35 years in on my career, and really it was my first opportunity to build a custom mash bill from the ground up.
Wow.
Unrestricted.
Yeah.
And from there, really, I leveraged my experience. I knew to get smooth and easy that I had to get the malted barley content in the mash bill way up. In the back of my mind, I also knew that all of the mash bills that I produced in my career up to that point always had some degree of rye in it, for a nice spice character.
Sure, yeah.
Again, through experience, to get that characteristic carried through into the distillate, the spice and the rye, it takes a minimum of 15% rye in the mash bill to achieve that.
Okay.
And literally from there it was reverse math. I took the corn content down to the minimum.
Which is 0?
Well, no, for a bourbon it's actually 51%.
No, I mean for the rye. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
And I factored in the 15% rye that I needed to get that spice.
Right.
And that left me room for 34% malted barley.
So, okay.
Truth is, if I had room for more malted barley, I'd have probably taken it.
Right.
As it was, I arrived at that mash bill, subsequently produced it, and the white distillate turned out like extremely nice. So, in my career, my training through Seagram was the Century and organoleptic training I got was really to target quality defects in the white distillate before it goes into the barrel.
I see. Okay.
And to achieve a world-class quality product, you don't want any quality defects in that white distillate. So, long story short is, I distilled that new mash bill. The quality of the white distillate was exactly what I was looking for. I didn't really know. I really couldn't predict what the descriptors were going to be after it aged, but I knew that, and through experience, that if you put good product into a barrel, the barrel will make it a better product.
Right.
One of the fallacies is that a barrel will not make bad whiskey good. So it's critical that you have a good product going in before you get something good coming.
Try to manipulate that.
So other mash bills really were derived from that. I actually had built 2 other custom mash bills for Old Elk. We did the extremely high wheated content wheat bourbon. Mm-hmm. That mash bill is 51% corn, 45% wheat, 5% malt. And then we did an extreme wheat whiskey mash bill that's 95% wheat, 5% malt. And then, of course, continued to produce the 95% rye mash bill, 5% malt that we made famous in Lawrenceburg, Indiana, over the course of 20-something years. So, and then, based on that, then some other mash bills were derived, like that 51% rye, 41% malt. So,
Have you? Yeah, that's wonderful. That's fascinating. How it is a full circle, basically going back to Old Elk being the originator in a of the idea of getting that high malted barley.
Yeah.
One of the things, and this is just for fun, a little bit. When somebody gives you when you are maybe conducting a tasting, there are people say, "Oh, this whiskey is very smooth." What does that mean to you? Because some people get really, "Oh no, that doesn't mean anything." You know, smooth is not a descriptor. How do you feel about it, and how do you approach that? How do you take that and convert that into in this case, you converted that into a mash bill and then ultimately a whiskey. But what is your approach when what are you thinking when somebody says it's smooth and easy? What does that mean?
Well, I think smooth means very gentle to the palate. It's not harsh. It's not a bold in your face bourbon like like you might be accustomed to. So it was meant to really maybe somewhat for an introductory bourbon drinker really, and it actually has wound up being a nice transition or whatever between a Scotch drinker who wants to become a bourbon drinker. So I don't know. It's really difficult to put descriptors on terms like that.
Right.
I think one of the things that I always preach, and I actually take exception to a lot of the reviewers that are out there, is that everybody has a palate.
Absolutely.
They're like fingerprints.
Yeah.
They're all different. So many of the things that I'll see in a product are going to be different than what you see.
Right.
But at the end of the day, there's no wrong answer.
Right.
It's
correct.
What you see is what you see, and what you like is what you like.
Right.
Even to the point of how you drink your whiskey. I mean, a lot of folks say, "Oh, you have to drink it neat. Oh, you have to drink it on ice." Well, drink it the way you like it.
Yeah, exactly.
So smooth and easy. It just means it's a gentler, less in your face, less robust bourbon. The high malted barley content brings that character to the table. The rye or the 51% corn brings along the robust characteristics that everybody's used to, but in a lesser degree.
Right.
And then the rye brings in that very nice little spice note. So it makes a real nice marriage of the three cereal grains and the attributes that it brings with it.
Right. Thank you.
Yep.